that's, you asked me one question, but it, I think, may take me a day to answer it, because it has been a beautiful journey, a challenging journey, and a very, very enriching journey. So when we started the Biennale in 2021, the COVID happened. The day we finalized everything, we got to know no flights. So we had to cancel a huge amount of tickets. We had people coming from Abu Dhabi, from Germany, from France. In fact, our keynote speaker was Neil McGregor, who is very well known as the director of the British Museum and has written this wonderful book called The Story of the World in 100 Objects. We were delighted, and the theme was Bihar, India and the world. So the whole thing, the world happened through the digital. And what was really interesting, challenging, initially disappointing, was the fact that we're not having a physical Biennale at all. We tried to make the most of the advantage and the disadvantage. Since it was COVID, lots of people were looking at the digital media. And what we did is that we managed to get a lot of museums on a digital tour. Everybody understood the need of being on Zoom. So within 10 days, sitting inside an a lecture theatre within the Bihar Museum, we did Bihar, India and the world. Through Zoom, we had everybody, we had all the panels, we had all the museums on the digital, we had all the exhibitions, and the Bihar Museum Biennale was on Facebook, which became a permanent kind of record for us. So what was really interesting was the transition from the physical to the digital. So the journey now to 23 became the reverse. We went from the digital to the physical. And what was interesting was that 2023 was also the year of the G20, where India was hosting the G20. So we did this massive G20 exhibition as part of the Museum Biennale. So you see, the Biennale grew bigger. We had Nepal, we had 2 curtain raisers with Brazil, and the French ambassador showed his lens on India. Emmanuel Lanez big exhibition, and which based around ecology and the landscape of India. It was a story of colorful India in black and white, images with no people. So it was a very, very interesting exhibition. And then the G20 exhibition, where we had 20 countries of the G20, 9 invited countries, and we had 29 Indian artists. So it was like a jugalbandi between the Indian artists and the G20 artists. And now we are on to the 3rd Biennale. As you know, that I was the one who conceptualized the Bihar Museum Biennale, though it was the vision of the Director General of the Bihar Museum, Shri Anjani Kumar Singh, who came to me with the idea that we should do something very, very interesting in the Bihar Museum. The Bihar Museum is the brainchild of the Chief Minister of Bihar, Shri Nitish Kumar. It was Anjani Kumar Singh who had executed the entire process, and the museum has been built by the Pritzker award-winning, world-renowned Japanese architect Fumio Komaki. And in the busy streets of Patna, in Nehru Path, it stands like an icon of modernity and contemporaneity to the plural culture of Bihar. It has a universal appeal, and as you know, Bihar is known for its plurality. You have Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Islam. So you are having this beautiful museum with its sacred spaces, corridors, reflexivity, and it's part of the Buddhist route with Nalanda and Bodh Gaya. So it really became very, very special that something as interesting as a museum biennale, which has never happened anywhere else in the world, it was the Bihar Museum who initiated it. And I'm so glad that I was the one who started it as the project director, as I said, under the vision of Shri Anjali Kumar Singh. So what I've noticed is that, for most things, and I'm going to use a Hindi phrase for this, ghar ki murgi dal barabar. So if you even have the best from your country, you never seem to catch the eyeballs till you don't get people from across the world. And we are still in India, though this year's Biennale is on the global south, which is very, very significant, and the balance of power in the world is changing in a big way. But still, we look at the white Western world all the time. And to bring in scholars from the white Western world, to bring in museum personnel from the white Western world always adds to making a project more, more aspirational. But we in India are also emerging as a big superpower, and we found a whole kind of renaissance of our identity and our own, in a way, nationalism. We are proud Indians today, we are more confident, and we're also looking more to the east as well. So we also, thanks to the G20, we had people from Saudi Arabia, we had people from South Africa, we had people from Egypt. So it was very, very interesting in the second Biennale, thanks to the G20 exhibition that we did. And we had this absolutely stunning exhibition from Nepal, which was literally a showstopper. So with our neighboring countries, with the countries of Africa, Egypt, and Australia, we managed to bring in a kind of a global cosmopolitanism, which really upped our performance to 2021. In that way, 2023 became even better. I think culturally, in our psyche, and I'm talking of Indians still. See, the Ivy League universities are still in America. America, in spite of Trump today, is still, people want to go there. Yeah. Because it's apple pie country, it's a country where you fulfill your dreams, you can go with a few pennies in your pocket and become a billionaire. It's the country of Elon Musk, which is showing great power, and if you see, it's a country of super specialization, whether it's in the area of exploring space, science, or innovation. America has the money which helps you think to innovate. America, I think, has probably the only universities which pay you to think. The other countries don't do that. So it's a land of opportunities. So you have also the best there. So bringing the best to your country is still, because locationally they are situated there. I don't think we need the approval of the white Western world so much anymore, but we do need the resources which are living there to come here. Some of the best Indologists are in Germany, in Chicago. Some of the best scholars are in the universities of the West, though it's increasingly becoming easy to see that a lot of good work is being done in India and also you see Korea, South Korea coming up in a big way by way of visual culture. So I think, as I said, the balance is shifting, but as of now, I do think to some extent it just adds to it, though all of us are questioning. We are no longer fascinated the way we were earlier. And I think it's a great democratization of the process of even idea making. Because the highest point is when we start talking of ideas. And don't forget, India was the land of greatest ideas and innovations as well, whether it's a William Dalrymple which wrote The Golden Road, or in fact I would recommend Audrey Tusquet's book a lot, which is 5,000 Years of India, where she's written beautifully about the wonder that is India, like A.L. Basham wrote many years ago, The Wonder That is India. So, this year the good thing is that for me, I'm not really involved in the exhibitions. I am the academic director of the 3 or 4 symposiums which we are going to have over a period of 6 months. The Biennale will open on the foundation day of the Bihar Museum, which is the 7th of August, and it will continue right up till the 31st of December. The theme this year is Global South Shared Histories, and I think it's really a very important subject because we are looking at countries which used to be known earlier as BRIC, South-South, etc. We're including all that, but what we are looking at the Global South is Latin America, Africa, Southeast, certain countries in Southeast Asia, the Oceania, and I think this speaks of a very, very interesting interrogation of civilizations and cultures which we need to be more sensitive to. So the seminars that I'm doing are centered around some of the exhibitions which are coming from Mexico, from Ethiopia, from Indonesia, from Thailand, but the exhibition which I'm actually looking forward to most here is the one on masks, which is coming from the IGNCA collection, and the kind of masks we have in this exhibition are from all over the world, from Mexico to South Africa to certain communities in Southeast Asia. And for me, the masks become a metaphor of the sacred, of the indigenous, of culture and of identities. So through the mask exhibition, where I'm talking of masks, shamans and magic, because I think it is magic which really creates the best kind of zeitgeist, or the spirit of the times, which helps you think about so many things, from myths to storytelling to music. I have included all that in my seminar. I've been an academic for 20 years, and I think there are different ways of not only generating but also sharing knowledge. The old model, which I grew up with, which was the academic model, can be very boring. Now with podcasts, with storytelling, with reels, and you get a lot of information from that. So I've changed the format quite a bit of these seminars, which I'm doing sessions. They don't have more than 2 or 3 people. I'm using the tool of storytelling to tell stories of cultures, of food, of music, of masks, of femininity, of creativity. So it is the tool of storytelling, and the people also who are coming, like somebody is going to talk of the narrative panels of the Ramayana in the South and Southeast Asia. Somebody will talk about storytelling and how do they tell stories of cultures from South Africa, like Philippa. We are going to have an artist who's going to talk of the creative feminine from Mexico. So these kind of things, and different voices, different people from we've got a big gender balance as well, both men and women. So we're keeping all that in mind, and I'm really looking forward to the 5 sessions which we are going to have in the 2-day seminar, plus the keynote address by His Excellency Professor Anil Sukhpal, who's the High Commissioner of South Africa to India, whose family came from the indentured labor of Bihar, the whole thing of the Girmitiyas, and how he's coming back to India as a representative of the country of his adoption. And then we are having Tim Curtis, who's the director of the UNESCO, who's talking of the intangible heritage. Because what we are going to show in all this, particularly through my academic sessions, is the value of the intangible heritage of civilizations across the world. When I was told that this year we are working on Latin America and South Africa, I suggested to the Director General that we should do the Global South. And of course, he's a man who is very open to ideas, very supportive, and very positive. So he said, fine, go ahead and plan it the way you want to. He gave me the list of exhibitions which were coming. I looked at all of them. I looked at the content, and yet I went a little beyond it, because the Global South also has migrancy, it has ecology, it has got the diaspora. It's very important, because when you're looking at Latin America, you're looking at Africa, they consist of, particularly Latin America has a lot of people who move from different continents and countries to make their homes in Latin America. In South Africa, there's a huge amount of diaspora. There's also migrancy from there to other countries. So these are key issues which are very much part of the Global South. So because also it is museum, so I looked at memory, conflict, empathy. These are concerns of museums in the Global South, because their museums are about culture. They are not just archaeological museums only, they are museums of memory, they are museums of culture, they are museums of identity. There are, we are decolonizing a lot. So we are looking at this whole aspect of, moving beyond the post-colonial and looking at the decolonial. We are looking at aspects of social injustice. We are looking at aspects of movement. So when I saw the exhibitions and I saw the content of the exhibits, I saw many resource people coming. I also believe that music and dance plays a very, very important role in the cultures of the Global South. So I included that in my sessions for the seminars. I wanted to bring a very holistic but organic kind of structure to the seminar. And the good thing was that the Director General, Shri Anjani Kumar Singh, understood the need for getting certain people from as far as Argentina, as we have Alejandro, who's going to be speaking about Latin American music. We are getting the storyteller from South Africa, Philippa, who's going to be talking of aspects of storytelling which are part of our culture. In India, it's all about storytelling, and it's so much part of the culture of Southeast Asia, of Thailand, of Indonesia. So, this whole thing has come about after a deep amount of thought and reflection on the concerns of the countries of the Global South, which are all being looked at through the lens of culture. It's going to be a book of emotions. One of the curators whose work I was really looking forward to is Koyo Kuyo, the Ghanaian curator of the Venice Biennale, and it was for the first time that a woman of color was going to be a curator of this very, very important Biennale, which I have been going every 2 years from 1999. And for me, the Venice Biennale stands as a repository of what the cultural concerns are. You know, it's the oldest Biennale in the world, and I was so looking forward to the vision and seeing her. But the good thing is, one good thing is, of course, it's tragic that she died right just a few months before the Biennale is to open. She had done all her work, and that's how the Western Biennales work, not last minute like us. So I'm looking forward to that. But to see a woman of color having a strong identity of her own, I was following her work, and I am very excited to see what the 2026 Biennale, Venice Biennale, is going to be like. 5,000 Years of India, Audrey Tolstoy, and Banu Mushtaq's book, Heartland. The British Museum.